I'm going to walk you through 20 acres in Fairbanks, Alaska. My name's Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. Land is our specialty, and this is what we do. In this video, I'm going to cover a lot of common questions. I'm going to cover FAQs. I'm going to talk about road access, how you can go view the property on your own in more of a self-service model. I'm going to talk about any potential wetlands on the property. I'm going to talk about an access trail, a river access trail that goes to the Chena River for fishing, kayaking, things like that, right next door to the property. Then I'm going to talk about some state land across the street. And a little bonus, there's a moose on this property as well. So when we talk about a property like this, I'll go through who the target audience is. This is going to be one of the most affordable 20-acre listings you're going to get up in Fairbanks, Alaska. You're going to be able to build a cabin on it. You could use it as a camper site, an RV site. You could use it as a hunting property if you wanted to, right? And then again, across the street is a bunch more state land you can use for, potentially hunting or recreation, right? In this video, I'll start with a quick disclaimer. This is not legal advice. It's not real estate advice. I'm simply sharing my thoughts and opinions on this property with you here today through my own due diligence, my own research, and my 10 plus years experience in the industry. So I'm going to stop on this photo really quick, help you understand what you'd be buying. This 20-acre tract starts about where my mouse is, a little bit further over to, I should say, this side. So it comes to about right here. It doesn't actually touch the Chena River, but there's a walking trail to the Chena River across the street. So I'll go through all that in the video. I'll give you a bird's eye view of what we're looking at. You can see there are some wetlands on the property that go through it. No big deal. We're dealing with 20 acres in Alaska. There's plenty of high ground on the property to be able to develop on it. So again, this gives you a really good look at the property right here. It basically comes from where this house is right here, kind of like right there. So you've got all this high ground right here, and I'll show it to you on satellite imagery. You've also got a lot of high ground right here too, in the back of the property. You can tell by those tree species, right? I'm no expert on it, but I've done this long enough to know that this is going to be able to be built on. You're going to be able to put a cabin out here. If you don't want a cabin, throw a gravel pad down and do a camper site. There's not a lot of restrictions out here in Alaska. Up here in Fairbanks, if you're not familiar with the area, it's some world-class viewing of the Northern Lights. I'll show you where we're at on a map up here in Fairbanks, Alaska. So we're north of Anchorage, in the heart of Alaska here. This is Fairbanks. You're kind of outside of town. Again, up here is known for spectacular, viewings of the Northern Lights, right? And there's some Chena hot springs, good hunting. You've got some large bodies of water. This river running through the area, and then you've got the Chena River that runs through it, right? I've got some photos of the Chena that I can share with you too. So this is where we're located. There is easy road access right to the property right here. I'll show it to you here on satellite imagery so you can get a better idea of what we're selling. So here's our 20 acre. Like I said, here's those wetland features going through the property. You can see that here. Look at all the space that you have that are outside of wetlands, right? There's a ton of space on this property. This is 5 acres of land just right there, right? So, and that's, you have these cool water features. Honestly, it's kind of a cool feature to the property, but you've got plenty of space to build in this property. Like I said, you're probably putting a camper out here, you're building a cabin, things like that. You've had people that have built right here. So, running power to this section of the property should be no issue either. This is a brand new installed road. Actually, a private individual paid for almost all of this road. It's somebody that they're actually completing the road. It's going to go all the way back to like a private residence up here on the river somewhere. So somebody has developed this road all along the Chena, and he's got some cool spread out here on the Chena River for himself, right? And so nobody should be using this road. I believe there are like construction signs out there just to prevent traffic back there. There's really like 1 or 2 landowners that have property back here that are going to be using that road. So you have mostly a private road back to this 20 acre. And again, everything to the south of the property down here, including this stuff on the Chena River, that's all state land. I'll show you what that looks like here on Onyx Maps. Everything to the south of it is state land. So this is Fairbanks North Star Bureau of Land Management, so BLM lands. We can see the acreage maybe. Let's see here, 502 acres to the south of this property is state land. Go a little bit further. This is an additional 318 acres. So do you see these chunks of land keep connecting to each other? And actually across the street, there's like it looks like maybe a little left bank trail to Freeman. It's a 1 mile hiking trail along this body of water that kind of comes through our property too. So that's kind of cool, right? And then you've got Bob's Winter Trail This is another hiking trail. I'm guessing these are very rarely used. And then here's a snowmobile trail too, across the road from the property. It's a snow machine trail down here. And then if you zoom in a little bit, you've got this little walking trail that it looks like it goes down to the Chena River. So everything over here is going to be DNR land. So this is all state-owned property too. We can see, let's get me out of there. We can see that's going to be closer to 2,000 acres. So again, this is the property that we're talking about, the subject property, 20 acres that we own. Across the street is access to the Chena River, okay, through Alaska state of DNR land, right? And so this land is over 2,000 acres. So you've got 500 or 800 plus acres connect right here. Then you've got another 2,000 plus additional acres connect here. You've got a little bit of a trail system too. It looks like you can see that on Onyx Maps. Here's another river trail that's going to bring you down to the river. Okay. So again, across the street from the property, there are trails connecting to the Chena River down here. You've got access to the Chena River through state land. Again, I'm not an expert on all the hunting regulations before making this video. My assumption is that you can hunt on this land. And again, kind of one of the bonus features is there's a moose out here. So when we sent a photographer out to this property, there was a moose on our 20 acre. So whether Stella the moose lives on the property or not, there's going to be wildlife everywhere up here, right? So when I think of target audience, somebody wants to build a cabin out here. Somebody just wants a land investment in Alaska, right? Like, what's wrong with buying 20 acres in Alaska at the price we have it priced at, right? This is going to be some of the best prices you're going to see in the state of Alaska. The reason we can offer these prices is because we're in the business of moving land fast. We're not emotionally connected to these properties. We actively have properties coming in through our purchasing pipeline. So the only way to keep our business moving is by selling land. The only way to sell land fast is by offering some of the best prices out there on the market. So that's just part of our built-in business model. People are getting good deals from Wilco Land. So again, talking about this property, here's the zoning if you're curious what you can do with the property. Basically, you can do about anything you want with it besides commercial activities, I believe, or like cemetery, something of that nature. I forget what it said, but you can click here and read more about the accepted uses. So you can click into this and kind of read about it, right? A shooting range would be permitted. Even conditional uses would be, you can have businesses, it looks like, large scale development. So there's a lot of potential uses with something like this. So again, this will go through all the requirements for you if you're interested in learning more about what you can and cannot do with the property. On the surface, you're going to be able to build, you're going to be able to use an RV or camper out here. You're going to be able to use it for recreation. And it's going to be an awesome land investment for the long run. So it does have good road access. Again, if you're going to look and view the property, you can take a peek at the road access simply by plugging it into the GPS coordinates and going to the property like this. My favorite app is going to be using Onyx Maps. If I plug in these coordinates, I have the elite version downloaded. The property actually cuts off right here. So just keep in mind, this is not Chena River frontage. This 9-acre property I actually already sold to somebody. So this is what we're selling, this 20-acre piece of land right here. Again, you can see it on satellite imagery right here. So, just summarizing things, power is not going to be too far away. You're looking at development right here. You should have no issue extending power. There's a lot of potential uses with a property like this. The price is right. And you do have all this state and public land, everything to the south of you. Over 3,000 acres of BLM land and of state land are adjacent to this property to the south end of it. And it does connect you to the Chena River that's going to offer fishing and recreation on the river. So I think that's a really cool bonus feature. How many 20-acre properties can you walk out your front doorstep, hike on down to the river and start fly fishing? There's not a lot of 20-acre properties with this type of proximity to public access to the Chena River. So I think that's a really huge selling point. And then also just public access for hunting and recreation to the south of this property. So that's what I have to share on the property. It's pretty easy to get to if you want to go view it. Just use the GPS coordinates, you guys. Again, if you have questions, get with our sales team. I have other properties in Alaska. If you're interested in taking a peek, I actually do have something that's on the Chena River. It is boat in access only, so you have to hop on a public access site or buy this 20-acre and buy this one, and then hop on the Chena River and get to this property. So this is what we're advertising out here in Alaska. I wanted to share it. I do have another really cool property up on the Etna River in Alaska here. So get with us if you have questions. You can reach us here at 605-299-5553. Thanks for tuning in.